All right, welcome back to the deep dive. This time, we're shifting gears a bit. You're interested in the new BMW S1000RR,
That's right.
specifically the 2025 model, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, let's just say this isn't your typical motorcycle refresh. We're talking some serious next-level performance upgrades and some pretty jaw-dropping specs. Get ready for this one, folks. This deep dive is about to get very, very fast.
What's really interesting about this bike is the S1000RR has always been kind of a legend. I mean, it's a benchmark in the superbike world.
Yeah.
It's known for its power, obviously its precision, and that unmistakable BMW engineering, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But this 2025 model, well, it takes everything to a whole new level.
I was looking at the specs earlier, and one number just jumped right out at me. 210 horsepower.
Yeah.
That puts it right at the top of its class for pure power, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Huh.
To put that into perspective, that's more horsepower than some supercars. We're talking 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Wow.
This thing's an absolute rocket.
Under 3 seconds? It's quick. That is very quick. But, of course, we're all about responsible riding here. This isn't an invitation to test your limits on public roads.
No, of course not.
Right. Speaking of the engine, what makes this 999cc inline-4 so special?
Well, it's not just about raw displacement. It's really how BMW has refined and tuned this engine. It delivers that power smoothly and consistently. 83 pound-feet of torque. That means you've got incredible acceleration at any RPM. You can really feel it pull you forward, even in those higher gears.
It's interesting, though. The article we shared emphasizes that BMW isn't just focused on raw horsepower. They're also, obsessed with control and handling.
Yeah, exactly, because if you can't control that kind of power, it's not just useless, it can be dangerous.
Right.
That's why they've loaded this S1000RR with some of the most advanced rider aids that you'll find on any motorcycle. We're talking traction control, wheelie control, multiple riding modes. All these features are designed to keep you safe and in control, even when you're pushing the bike to its limits.
I love it. Can you break down how those systems actually work? What are they doing?
Okay, so imagine you're accelerating hard out of a corner. Traction control is going to sense if the rear wheel starts to spin, like if you hit a patch of wet pavement or something.
Yeah.
Then it instantly and automatically adjusts the power delivery to maintain grip. Wheelie control. Well, it does the same thing when the front wheel lifts off the ground under hard acceleration. So these systems, they just keep the bike stable and predictable, even when you're really pushing it.
That makes a lot of sense, especially at those speeds.
For sure.
And what about the riding modes? Is it like choosing between Easy Rider and Track Day Beast mode?
Yeah, you got it. Each mode adjusts the bike's throttle response, the engine braking, and how sensitive those electronic aids are. It's like having different personalities for your bike,
I love it.
letting you tailor the performance to your riding style and the road conditions.
Okay, let's get into some more of those specs. The article mentions a wet weight of 434 pounds.
Yeah.
Is that heavy or light in the superbike world?
It's about average for this class of motorcycle. It's not the absolute lightest, but BMW's done a great job of centralizing the mass, which is really important for agility and handling.
And the transmission.
6-speed.
6-speed with a quick shifter, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
But explain to me why they're such a big deal.
So picture this. You're carving through those tight corners, maybe on a mountain road, and you're pushing the bike hard.
Okay.
With a quick shifter, you can shift up and down through the gears without ever touching the clutch lever. You just keep that throttle pinned and tap the gear lever.
Oh, wow.
It makes for unbelievably smooth and lightning fast gear changes.
Sounds incredibly fun, especially on a winding road. What about the suspension and brakes? I noticed the article mentions a fully adjustable electronic suspension, dual 320mm front discs with ABS Pro.
Oh yeah, that's top-of-the-line stuff.
What makes these features so special?
Well, the electronic suspension is all about customization. So you can actually fine-tune the bike's handling on the fly, adjusting things like compression and rebound damping to match the road conditions. And as for the brakes, those dual 320mm discs, they provide massive stopping power. And that ABS Pro system makes sure you can brake hard without losing control, even mid-corner.
It's all about maintaining stability and safety, even in those really extreme riding conditions. This is getting pretty high-tech. The article also mentioned tire sizes, 12 Tennis 70 ZR17 at the front and a 2005 IFE ZR17 at the rear. I'm assuming those are some pretty serious tires.
Oh yeah, you bet. Those are high-performance tires. They're designed to handle the incredible forces that this bike can generate, providing the grip you need for acceleration and cornering at those high speeds. Think of them as the contact patch between all that power and the road, essential for both performance and safety.
So we've covered a lot about what makes this bike so impressive, but I'm really curious about those upgrades for the 2025 model. What's BMW done to take it to the next level?
One of the most noticeable changes is the enhanced aerodynamics. They've redesigned the winglets on the fairing. That's the bodywork that surrounds the bike.
Yeah.
These winglets are designed to generate downforce at high speeds.
Downforce on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's wild. Can you explain why that's important?
It's all about stability and control. Downforce pushes the bike down onto the track, increasing grip and stability, especially when you're cornering at high speeds or accelerating hard.
So you're saying it helps maintain control and push the bike even further.
Exactly.
That is some serious engineering. The article also mentioned updates to the electronic systems and customizable settings. Seems like electronics are playing a bigger and bigger role in the world of superbikes.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a trend we're seeing across the industry. This 2025 model gives riders even more control over how the bike behaves, with the ability to, fine-tune everything from throttle response to suspension setting. It's almost like having a custom-built bike straight from the factory.
That's pretty amazing. So we've established that this bike is packed with cutting-edge technology, performance features, all that good stuff. It's a real testament to BMW's engineering. But I'm curious how it fits into the bigger picture of the motorcycle world, especially with the rise of electric motorcycles.
Yeah, it's a great question. The world of motorcycles is evolving rapidly, and electric bikes are becoming increasingly popular. We're seeing more power, longer range, and more affordable prices. It's definitely a shift happening.
But can an electric bike truly replicate the visceral thrill of a superbike like this S1000RR?
It's a good question.
You know, the sound of that engine, the feeling of the wind rushing past you at those high speeds.
I know what you mean.
It's an incredible experience.
It's the debate, isn't it? Electric bikes offer a different kind of thrill. Instant torque, silent operation. It's a very unique riding experience. But for a lot of riders, that sound and feel of a powerful combustion engine, it's an integral part of the appeal.
It seems like there's room for both in the world of motorcycling. The S1000R represents that pinnacle of gas-powered performance, while electric bikes offer a new and exciting alternative. It's a really fascinating time to be a motorcycle enthusiast. And the future holds a lot of possibilities. Speaking of possibilities, let's turn our attention to you, the listener. Why should you care about this 2025 BMW S1000RR, especially with all this talk about electric motorcycles being the future and everything?
Well, if you're a rider who values cutting-edge performance, who craves the thrill of pushing a machine to its limits, then the S1000RR is still the gold standard. It represents the pinnacle of what's possible with a combustion engine motorcycle.
It's a statement bike, a celebration of engineering excellence, a reminder that there's still a place for raw, visceral, gas-powered thrills in a world that's rapidly embracing electrification. And who knows, maybe BMW will apply some of the lessons they've learned from this S1000R to their future electric motorcycles.
Yeah.
Creating machines that are even more incredible. Now that's an exciting thought. So, to sum things up, this 2025 BMW S1000RR is a truly exceptional motorcycle.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's testament to BMW's commitment to performance and innovation. They've taken an already amazing bike and made it even better. With those enhanced aerodynamics, the updated electronics, and that signature S1000RR power, it's a force to be reckoned with.
I'm already itching to take one for a test ride. But before we let you go, we want to leave you with something to ponder. We've talked about the future of motorcycles, the rise of electric powertrains, the enduring appeal of those combustion engines. But here's a question for you to think about. With the rapid pace of technological advancement, what will the motorcycle of the future look like? Will it be a sleek electric machine, maybe with mind-blowing acceleration and a range of hundreds of miles? Or will it be something completely different, something we can't even imagine yet?
That's a great question to think about. The future of motorcycling is full of exciting possibilities. It really is.
Absolutely. And as always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries of what's possible.
That's what it's all about.
If you're interested in learning more about this 2025 BMW S1000RR, I definitely recommend checking out the BMW website. They have all those juicy details, the photos, maybe even some videos that will get your heart racing.
Oh, for sure.
You can also find a ton of reviews and opinions from other motorcycle enthusiasts online. Don't be afraid to do your own research and form your own conclusions.
Exactly. That's what the deep dive is all about, right?
Yes, equipping you with the knowledge and insights that you need to navigate this ever-evolving world around us. Speaking of evolving, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of motorcycles. Do you think electric bikes will completely take over? Or will there always be a place for the roar of a combustion engine?
That's a tough one.
Share your thoughts with us on social media, send us an email, or leave a comment on our website. We're always eager to hear from our listeners.
Absolutely. Always love hearing from you all.
Until next time, keep your curiosity ignited and your engines revving.
Yeah.
Ride safe, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the BMW S1000RR. It's been a blast.
It has indeed. Until next time.
Okay, so we've been talking about all the features and tech and stuff on this bike, but one thing that I keep coming back to is just the sheer amount of technology that is packed into this thing.
It's true.
It's almost like riding a computer on wheels.
Yeah, modern superbikes are incredibly sophisticated machines. But all that technology has a purpose. It's there to enhance the riding experience, to improve safety, and really push the limits of what's possible on two wheels.
That makes sense. It's not just about like adding gadgets for the sake of it. It's about making the bike smarter, faster, and more responsive. But with all this talk about technology, I'm curious about how this bike compares to its predecessors. What are some of the key advancements that really set this 2025 model apart?
Well, one of the biggest changes is the focus on aerodynamics. You know those redesigned winglets we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
They're not just for looks. They actually generate significant downforce at high speeds, which is a major innovation in the world of superbikes.
Downforce. I remember reading about downforce in Formula One racing, but I never thought I'd see it applied to motorcycles. Can you explain how that translates to the riding experience?
Sure. Think about it this way. You're leaning into a high-speed corner, pushing the bike to its limits. Downforce essentially increases the weight on the tires, which means more grip, more stability. It gives you the confidence to push harder and maintain control, even in those extreme riding situations.
So it's not just about going faster in a straight line. It's about cornering faster, braking harder, and having more control overall.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive.
And that's just one example of how BMW has pushed the boundaries with this 2025 model. They've also made some significant updates to the electronic systems, giving riders even more customization options.
The article mentioned things like adjustable throttle response and customizable suspension settings. It sounds like you can really fine-tune this bike to match your riding style and preferences.
You can, and that level of customization is becoming increasingly common on high-end motorcycles. It's all about giving riders the tools they need to create a truly personalized riding experience.
Now, I know we've been diving deep into the specifics of this S1000RR, but I think it's important to zoom out for a moment and talk about the bigger picture of the motorcycle world, specifically the rise of electric motorcycles.
It's a trend that's impossible to ignore. Electric bikes are becoming more powerful, more affordable, and more appealing to a wider range of riders.
I've ridden a few electric motorcycles myself, and I have to admit, they're incredibly fun. The instant torque is exhilarating, and the silent operation is a unique experience. But I'm curious to get your take on this. Do you think electric motorcycles will eventually replace gas-powered bikes like the S1000RR?
That's the question a lot of people are asking, and it's not an easy one to answer. I think there will always be a place for high-performance combustion engine motorcycles like the S1000RR. There's something about the sound, the feel, the raw power that resonates with a lot of riders. It's an emotional connection as much as a technological one.
Yeah, I get that. For many riders, it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about the experience, the thrill, the connection with machine.
Right. But at the same time, electric motorcycles offer some undeniable advantages, instant torque, quiet operation, zero emissions. And as battery technology continues to improve, we're going to see even more powerful and longer range electric bikes hitting the market.
So it sounds like you see a future where both gas-powered and electric motorcycles coexist, each offering a unique set of advantages and appealing to different types of riders.
Exactly. I think it's a really exciting time to be a motorcycle enthusiast. We're witnessing a convergence of technologies, and the possibilities are endless.
Speaking of possibilities, I want to turn our attention back to the listener for a moment. Why should someone who's interested in the future of motorcycles care about the 2025 BMW S1000RR?
If you're passionate about motorcycles, if you appreciate cutting-edge engineering and design, then the S1000RR is a bike that deserves your attention. It represents the pinnacle of what's possible with a gas-powered superbike. And it's a reminder that even in a world that's rapidly embracing electrification, there's still a place for that raw, unadulterated mechanical thrill.
I love that. Raw, unadulterated, mechanical thrill. It's the perfect way to describe the S1000RR experience.
And who knows, maybe some of the technologies and innovations that we see in the S1000RR will eventually find their way into future electric motorcycles, making them even more exciting and even more capable.
That's a great point. Innovation often flows across boundaries, and it's exciting to think about how the lessons learned from developing a superbike like this could shape the electric motorcycles of tomorrow.
It's a reminder that progress doesn't always mean abandoning the past. Sometimes it means taking the best of what we've learned and applying it to new challenges and new opportunities.
So to wrap up this part of our deep dive, the 2025 BMW S1000RR is more than just a motorcycle. It's a statement, a symbol of engineering excellence, and a testament to the enduring appeal of pushing the boundaries of performance.
And even as the motorcycle world evolves, the S1000RR stands as a reminder that the pursuit of speed, agility, and control will always be at the heart of what makes motorcycling so thrilling.
Now, before we wrap up completely, we want to leave you with something to ponder. We've talked about the S1000RR, the rise of electric motorcycles, and the future of riding, but here's a question for you to think about. What role do you think passion and emotion will play in the future of motorcycling?
Will it be purely about technology and performance, or will there always be a place for that visceral connection between rider and machine?
That's a great question to contemplate, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. That's a really thought-provoking question to leave our listeners with. It gets to the heart of what makes motorcycling so special for so many people.
It really does. And it'll be fascinating to see how that emotional connection evolves alongside all of the technological advancements that are happening in the motorcycle world.
I have a feeling that connection between rider and machine will always be there. It's more than just transportation, you know? It's a sensory experience, that feeling of freedom, that connection with the road.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. There's a certain magic to it.
Exactly. And I don't think that magic is going away anytime soon.
I agree. Now, before we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone listening to do a little more digging into this topic if you're interested. If you want to learn more about this 2025 BMW S1000RR, I highly recommend checking out the BMW website. They've got all the details, photos, videos, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and you can always find reviews and comparisons from other motorcycle enthusiasts online too. See what other riders are saying about this bike.
There's a whole community of passionate people out there who love to share their experiences and insights.
It's one of the things that makes the motorcycle world so special. That sense of community, sharing stories, learning from each other, pushing the limits of what's possible on two wheels.
Well said. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of the BMW S1000RR, we want to thank you for being here with us.
We hope you enjoyed learning about this incredible machine and that we've sparked some curiosity about the future of motorcycling.
Until next time, ride safe and enjoy the ride.
And keep exploring. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.